Who doesn't like the satisfying slurp of a well-balanced noodle dish? It doesn't matter if they're rice noodles, egg noodles, buckwheat noodles, or even pasta. A good noodle is a satisfying dish the world over. Even when my parents used the same vegetables over and over again, the type of noodles they used with the vegetables made the dish new and exciting. From crunchy egg noodles to slippery glass noodles, I loved it all. With so many noodle recipes out there, I want to highlight different noodle types and what you can do with them. Dry sauteed beef with ho fun is a signature Cantonese dish with broad, tender rice noodles coated with a savory sauce and tender, juicy beef. Be sure to make lots of this one. A glass noodle salad is a great alternative to the standard cold side dishes. For your next potluck or party, try this light, refreshing dish with the brightest notes of citrus and mint. Every noodle lover should know how to make crispy egg noodles. Its crunchy texture and flavor-packed sauce is sure to impress. In China, long noodles symbolize longevity in life. In my life, noodles have a lot of meaning too. I've shared many heartwarming meals with friends and family over a steaming bowl of noodles. So let's celebrate the longevity of those types of moments as we salute the noodle. Rice noodles come in different sizes, and today we're going to use the biggest, flattest, widest ones called ho fun, and we're going to use in a dish called dried sauteed beef with ho fun. We're going to start with about 6 ounces of flank steak, all just sliced up like this, and we're going to mix about 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, and then we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of soy sauce to the cornstarch. Eyeballing it. Yeah, that looks about right. So this prevents the cornstarch from clumping when you add it to the beef. That's why we gotta mix it really well here. And then pour it all over this beef here. Give that a good mix. Get that all incorporated in there. There we go, we're good. We're gonna set this beef aside, and I'm gonna heat up about 4 tablespoons of peanut oil. That looks about right. And while the peanut oil is heating up, we're gonna talk about some of my all-time favorite noodles. Ho fun is a wide, flat rice noodle that is used in a Cantonese dish to stir-fry with vegetables and beef. It's also used in soups, but be careful when you're cooking it, especially stir-frying, because the noodles have to be handled with care to prevent them from breaking into small pieces. Glass noodles are also known as cellophane noodles, because when they're cooked, they are translucent and clear. They are fantastic for soups and hot pots, spring rolls, stir-fried, or even deep-fried to provide a garnish for extra crunch to a dish. Egg noodles can be found fresh or dried. Fresh egg noodles are made with eggs and wheat flour, and they come in different sizes for different purposes. The texture of egg noodles is springy, so be careful you don't overcook it or it gets way soggy. Now that the oil is heated up, I'm going to add about 2 stalks of green onion. Fry it up a little bit to bring out the flavor. And now we're gonna get that steak that we had earlier. Toss this in. Whoa! Let's give it a few fries here. So we're gonna just cook it for about half a minute, so 30 seconds. You definitely don't want to overcook the beef. It'll get too chewy and tough because we're gonna add more ingredients to this. The beef will be ready when it's brown on all sides. It's almost ready. Now it's time to add the bean sprouts. So you want to get about 2 handfuls. 1. But if you have really big, like gorilla man hands, then just 1 handful is good. Give that a fry. And the bean sprouts cook fairly fast. You don't want to overcook the bean sprouts because otherwise they'll get too soft. You want that nice crunch. Now that it's mixed really well, we're going to add about 10 ounces of the whole fun. Okay, if you find that your noodles are sticking a little bit, just add a little bit more oil. You want to be really gentle with the noodles. You want to keep the long strands. There we go. Now that everything's incorporated really well and the noodles have broken apart, separated, we're going to add a little bit of oyster sauce. So you want about a teaspoon. Well, that's more like 2 teaspoons, but it's okay. And now we're going to add about a teaspoon of soy sauce, or maybe another one, so 2 teaspoons. Give that a good mix. I'm just going to go back to this shoveler. Be careful, your wok is hot at this point, so you may need something to hold on to the handle. And yeah, just gentle hands. And we can't forget about half a teaspoon of sugar. So that's about like 3 pinches. An extra one for good luck. Now we want to make a sauce. This isn't really a heavy sauce dish, but we want enough just to coat the noodles and the meat and hold it together. So we're going to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of chicken stock. And you can add more if you need to. And now we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water, just mixed up like this. It may have settled a little bit, so you might want to give this a little stir. Mix that in and pour it. And now more shoveling. Add a little bit of chicken stock if needed. I'm going to add a little touch more. That's about another 2 tablespoons. And at this point, your heat should be fairly low because we don't want to burn the noodles at the bottom. All right, have a plate ready nearby. Do your best to keep the long strands intact. Smells so good. I like to add a little drizzle of sesame oil for the finishing touch. Drizzle. See how easy that was to make dry sauteed beef with ho fun? This is a classic Cantonese dish. Noodles can be used for soups or even saucy stir fries, but today we're going to crisp them up in a Chinese crispy fried egg noodle with pork and lots of different mushroom stir fry. And we're gonna start off with boiling a pot of water and then cooking up these dried egg noodles. We'll plop these in. Whoops. As we wait for the egg noodles to cook, let's talk about the marinade for the pork. This pork marinade is really simple and easy to make. Let's start with 1 tablespoon of Chinese cooking wine, add in 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, then half a teaspoon of salt, and we'll finish off with some ground white pepper. Let this pork marinate for about 20 minutes to really infuse all those flavors. So we have about a tablespoon of canola oil heating up in the pan. and our noodles are cooked. So we cook them in the water for about 3 minutes. So you do not want to overcook it. You want to have that nice springy texture. We strained it and then just poured some like cold water on top to firm it up again. And now they're ready to go. So we're gonna toss this in. We want to lay it out flat. But that's where chopsticks are gonna help us. So you don't want the heat on too high because you do not want to burn the noodles, but you want the heat enough so that it crisps it up around the edges here. So we're just gonna leave this cooking for about 4 to 5 minutes. And now we're just gonna start flipping it so we get all the noodles nice and crispy. Ooh, look at that. Trusty chopsticks. Pull that out again. And we'll just wait for another about 4 to 5 minutes. The more patient you are, that means you get more crispy egg noodles, and that way everybody gets a big, big chunk. All right, I think it's ready. We'll just put this onto a plate. Don't want to break up the noodles. Oh my gosh, this pan is heavy. Let's get our trusty chopsticks and lay it out flat. We're gonna leave this for now and work on that pork and mushrooms. So we're gonna need about 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil. Heat that up. And the pork that was marinating, this is where we're gonna use it now. Slide that in. Whoa! And action! Turn the heat down a little bit. So this is about 100 grams of pork, just sliced up like this. About 3 inches long, 1/4 to 1/8 inch thick. Gonna let it just brown a little bit. We don't want it to be fully cooked because we're gonna add the mushrooms in very quickly here. Time for the mushrooms. This is about 100 grams of assorted mushrooms, mainly oyster, because I love the sweetness of the oyster mushrooms. Toss that in. And mushrooms cook super fast. Cooking up nicely. So this is about 1/2 cup of chicken stock. Turn up the heat even higher. Give that a quick mix. Now we're gonna add about 1 teaspoon of cornstarch with 2 teaspoons of water, and this will help thicken the sauce. So now I'm gonna turn up the heat to bring this to a boil, because once that brings to a boil, cornstarch and water mixture is gonna thicken up and make this into a sauce. And I'm just gonna add a pop of color with some fresh green onions. This is about 2 stalks. And you can see that this sauce is thickening. Now you don't want to overcook the green onions. We want them to stay that bright green and have that nice crunch. We're ready. Turn off that heat. Bring this over and pour in the middle. Try to get most of it in the middle. Spread it nicely. Now that this is plated, you want to serve this right away because the sauce is soaking into the crispy egg noodles, making them a little soft. So ready? 3, 2, 1, and eat! Noodles, noodles, noodles! Who's best to come in here and talk about noodles with me? Then noodles specialist Erin. Today we're gonna make a chicken and glass noodle salad. And we're gonna start with slicing up some shallots.
Sliced?
Yeah, so we're gonna top and bottom the shallot and slice it in half so we get a flat surface to work with. Less danger. Just gonna remove that first layer there. That's the dirty part. Perfect. Yeah, that way. Beautiful. This is why I get experts to come in to do all the work. Look at those beautiful thin slices. So we need about 1/3 of a cup. So we're gonna keep going. So fast. Oh my gosh. I'm like a slow motion machine next to you.
That's 1/3 of a cup.
That's 1/3 of a cup? Perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna start mixing the vinaigrette, the sauce.
Okay.
Brush that to the side. And if you wouldn't mind, roughly measuring about 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. And I'm gonna put in about 2 tablespoons of lime juice. And how about you put in about 1.5 tablespoons of fish sauce, but be careful, don't get it on your hands. It's smelly. I'm putting in about 1 teaspoon of sugar, approximately. And now we're gonna put in about 2 teaspoons of chili paste. How about you give that a good whisk? Da-da-da. Work that wrist. Now that we're done that, it's time to add the glass noodles, also known as cellophane noodles.
And they came like this?
No, they came dried, so I rehydrated it in some hot tap water for about 15 minutes, and they're pretty long strands, so you want to just run some scissors through it just to chop it up a little bit, to break it up. So we'll toss that in. And now we're gonna get some chicken in there. That's about 2 cups of chicken. Shredded up, roughly chopped. And let's add about 1 large carrot, like julienned up. Toss that in there, give that bright orange color, and that beautiful red pepper. It's about 1 red pepper sliced up. And we can't forget the shallots that you just sliced. So all that hard work.
All that hard work.
Let's toss that in.
Okay.
Beautiful. Yes, we'll give it a good toss. Ooh, pretty. Look at all those colors. Oh. I can't wait to eat them.
Do you make glass noodles all the time?
Yeah, I like to use it sometimes in soups, but they're really slippery. That's the fun part.
Yeah. What are they made with?
They're usually made out of mung beans or sometimes potato starch. And that gives it that nice translucent clear look to them. What's your favorite thing to do with glass noodles?
Honestly, it would be a cold salad because I like the texture.
Yeah, I love that texture, like that chewiness.
Yeah.
Now it's time to add some sesame oil, just a good drizzle, or 2 or 3. It can do no wrong to the salad.
It's a strong flavor though, no?
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
Another light toss. I'll just grab a bowl for that now. Oh. Whoa. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty.
How much do you want in here? What's the serving size?
Oh, we'll just fill it.
It's family?
Yeah, family size. Oh, I love this color, the bright orange and then the red of the red pepper. And then that texture too of the chicken and the noodles.
And you can add different vegetables too, right? Just whatever you want,
definitely.
Really.
Yeah. What would you add? What other vegetables would you add?
I'd probably do, well, some green onions maybe.
Definitely green onions.
And just different colored peppers even, because you can get multiple.
Oh, and you can get those really pretty carrots that are like kind of purpley.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so beautiful. All right, now we're gonna just add a little bit of final touches. So if you wanna sprinkle on some chopped mint, and I'll do the cilantro. Whoa, I love this pop of color. Now for the final touch, some roasted peanuts. Let's tag team on this. Doo-doo-doo.
Are your nuts salted?
Yes. More. Oh, that's good. Are you excited to start eating this?
So excited.
I'm
Thanks, Ching.
so pumped for this. Thanks so much, Erin, for coming in and making this glass noodle salad with me.
Thanks, Ching Li.
I ate tons of noodles growing up. It wasn't rice, it was noodles. It was one or the other. Whenever I think of noodles, I always think of my dad and his special weekend brunch noodles, super casual. Everybody just jumped for joy when he did it. The dry sauteed beef with ho fun is so simple. It's the biggest, widest rice noodle you can find with bean sprouts, some green onion, and tender slices of beef. So simple, and then you got a little bit of soy sauce, some hot chili oil, sauteed chilies. It's so good. The glass noodle salad is just so tasty and so easy to make. So it's a different way to work with the bean thread, and you got the carrots, the bright carrots, the red pepper, and it's all fresh. You would definitely take the glass noodle salad to a potluck or even a picnic. The crispy egg noodle dish has lots of pork that's been marinating and lots of flavor and lots of sweet, sweet oyster mushrooms. What will impress your friends the most is if you get a lot of the crispy edge. The more crispy, the better, because they know how much time and loving you put into it. When I think of noodles, I think of versatility, everyday eating, and just like tasty goodness. You know, tasty goodness.